Alright guys, today I just wanted to do like a small collection of my comic books, and I got the idea because today was actually a comic book convention in Charlotte, and I was gonna go. A friend of mine went. He was going to get an autograph with Stan Lee. I was just gonna go look around, see some of the comic books and stuff, but I thought it was worth mentioning just how much that cost. Just to go to the convention for one day, it's like a 3-day show, like 3-day convention, and it was $15 a day. To get an autograph by Stan Lee was like $50. So he told me, hey, bring a comic book. If he can sign 2 of them, I'll get one for you signed. So I got some stuff here, and I was going to see if he could get one of my oldest comic books signed. And then he found out later that you're paying for the signature. Like $50 for the Stan Lee signature, and that's fine, but it's like more money for a picture, and it comes to a total of like $190 if you want to go watch this panel where Stan Lee talks for an hour. I just thought that was way too much money. I've never been to one of these things before, but to me that just sounds like really overpriced. You can also win like you get put in a drawing to win like lunch with Stan Lee or something like that, and I was just thinking how awkward that would be. I mean, it's like, eat slower, Stan. You're eating too fast, Stan. Like, I just picture some crazy fan like doing that, but yeah, I don't know. To me, like $190 for the autograph and everything. I mean, I guess it's cool. He is the biggest icon in comic book history. There's no debating that. But yeah, for me personally, I'm not that into it to where I would want to spend that much money. So I figured I'm not going to go. But I did go through some of my old comics, and I collected Spectacular Spider-Man. And I know it's a weird thing to collect of all the comic book series, but I got a few random things. But I have a lot of Spectacular Spider-Man. This is not my entire collection. But I guess as a kid, I just thought, I'm going to pick a series and I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to buy every single issue. And I almost did. I guess I just got into other stuff, but I almost did get every single issue. So I have a ton of Spectacular Spider-Man. I'm just going to show a few of them. But my first comic book I want to show, actually this isn't mine. Someone loaned this to me to see if it was worth any money, and it is actually Chuck Norris Karate Commandos, and I just had to show this because it's insane. But the thing about it is they wanted to know if it was worth anything because I don't think you can see it. There's a signature here, Chuck Norris. Now to me personally, that looks like a kid took a pen and tried to create it, or someone who sold the comic at a flea market or whatever. Looks like they tried to recreate it. I don't know if it's authentic. There's no like certificate or anything, but there is a Chuck Norris autograph on here. Whether it was from Chuck Norris or not, that's another story. But this is the comic book I was actually going to try and get Stan Lee to sign. It is my oldest comic book, I think. Which, I mean, I don't have like a huge collection. I got some random crap and I got Spectacular Spider-Man. But this one's like 1977, and it's Spectacular Spider-Man number 8. Something Morbius, the vampire. I remember him from the animated TV series, and this was probably my oldest, rarest comic, so this is the one I wanted to get signed. The store I was buying comics from as a kid before they all closed, because it seems like every time someone opens a comic book store in this town, it just immediately closes down. But the guy I bought all these from, he actually had issue number 1 of Spectacular Spider-Man. I think there's actually an issue 0, but he had number 1, and I really wanted it, and me and this other kid both wanted it, and he actually bought it for me for my birthday. However, I pissed him off and he never gave it to me, so I never ended up getting the comic book. But it's fine because, to be honest, the issue was in really bad shape. The cover was completely ripped. So it's no big loss or anything, but it would be cool to have anyway. Just issue number 1. But yeah, so issue number 8, this is the one I was going to have him sign. Then I just said, nah, I'm going to pass on going up to Charlotte. These are just some comic books I got as a kid. When you would go to grocery stores, they would have like the spinning rack of comic books, and I would just, you know, pick one and ask my mom if I could get it. So here's one of those, X-Men, with Jean Grey and Cyclops on the cover. Just some really old stuff. This is 1994. Then I found this comic book, Avengers West Coast. This is another pretty old one. Got a lot of superheroes in it though. I thought it was good. This is another one from the 90s. And this is the Uncanny X-Men. You can see the old 90s cards on the back. The Fleer cards. And there's actually a spread, because I was just looking through this one. I didn't look through the others, but I think there's like a cool little... Let's see if I can find this here. Here it is. Like, I'm sure a lot of you who read comic books remember this. When they like went to the future, or Age of Apocalypse, or 2099, whatever it was, and you have like Wolverine with the missing hand and all that. So I thought that was kind of an interesting comic book. I really like the cover for this. This is Venom, where Venom actually fights the Juggernaut, part 1 of 3. Of course, I don't have the other 2. I just bought this one. Here is a Batman fighting Killer Croc. Old Batman comic book there. This is the giant-sized 50th issue of Spider-Man with reflection in the eyes. Kraven the Hunter. So yeah, and then I have At Last, the Wedding of Scott Summers and Jean Grey. I have no idea what possessed me to buy this one, but yeah. Here's a cool little picture. All the superheroes at the wedding, all the X-Men. X-Men's probably my favorite group in Marvel Comics. Giant-sized 30th anniversary of Amazing Spider-Man 1. Badass cover. That's awesome. What is this on the back here? Night of... This is like an advertisement for the old Fox cartoon series. Saturday morning Fox. That was an awesome animated series. Night of the Sentinels. Man. I mean, if I just open this up, you can see how old it is. There's like ads for old Super Nintendo video games. So that's pretty cool, I think. Here's one that doesn't even have a cover. It's Batman versus Bane and Killer Croc. Cover's long gone. I was surprised. Pretty much every comic book from when I was a kid was in this box where I put my Spectacular Spider-Man collection. And I was really surprised how far back it goes. I have an old Captain America one I didn't feel like bringing because it didn't have the cover, where he fights Kingpin and Red Skull. And I was just amazed all these are still there. This is another old Batman one with Robin. So, yeah, I remember reading this one. Really didn't have very much DC, just a few Batmans here and there. Night Quest, The Crusade, another Batman comic book. Here's another one without a cover. I think this is X-Men. Here's a picture of the group. You got Strongman, Bishop, Iceman, yeah, Colossus, bunch of guys here. But fingers on the trigger if you want to know exactly which issue. So here we have, I have no idea why I bought this, Robin. Here's just a straight up Robin comic book. Another missing cover, Dark Walk. It's got a cool picture of Archangel on the cover. I guess they fight Juggernaut in this one. Huge fan of Juggernaut. One of my favorite villains. If I saw him on the cover, I was like, oh, I gotta read this. So yes, I was a huge Juggernaut fan. Let's see. In Memory Most Bitter. X-Men, Another thing about the X-Men is when it started to get just batshit insane, I kind of took a break because I really liked reading the issues, the comics and everything, but some of this stuff with it all being a dream and then, you know, different timelines and futures, I couldn't take anymore. I got out of it. Here's a cool ad for Eternal Champions, the old Sega Genesis game. That's pretty cool. Here is, this cover I have seen a ton of places. Oh man, that's awesome. Okay, so here's the cover. They're fighting the Executioner. Cyclops and his son Cable. But I was just flipping through it because I felt something in here. See if I can get this out. It says, which would you rather own? Mona Lisa or an X-Men card? And then you open it up and it's got some of the Fleer cards. I got it upside down, but yeah, that's pretty cool. I actually have, I can't remember what series it was, I think maybe 94, but I have all of the set. I got the entire set of every card from that year for like 20 bucks or something. I think I'm missing one card and it told me on the label that one of them would be missing, but I loved those X-Men cards, Marvel cards, all that stuff. I just liked the artwork, and on the back you could read all the superpowers and stuff. It was just awesome. X-Mutants. I don't even know what this is. Is this? It just says Eternity, the Shattered Earth Chronicles. Number 11, 1989. This is actually all black and white. I have no idea where I got this. I don't know what it is. Maybe some of you out there know what this is, but it's just X-Mutants. Then I got Daredevil, Man Without Fear. Not sure which one this is. 274, don't know what year. When the Inhumans Strike. It looks pretty old. Probably 80s. Here's a comic book I had, and I definitely remember this one. Gen 13. And I remember this. I guess there's an alternate side to it. But this is issue number 2. And the reason I remember this one is because I was really young, and there's like a lesbian character in the comic book who is like hitting on her other superhero friend. And I was just like, what the hell am I reading? Because I'm talking very young. So yeah, I had no idea what I was getting into. I just thought it looked cool. But yeah, Gen 13. I think I got this from a grocery store also, just on the rack. So on to my Spectacular Spider-Man. Now these are all, I know some of these are just kind of thrown together. They don't have plastic or backings. Some of these don't have backings, but these are just a few of them. They're not in order. This is 168, Spectacular Spider-Man fighting She-Hulk. The Enforcers, number 19, Spectacular Spider-Man. I don't want to get these out of order, even though they're not in order. Then I have number 20. That's pretty cool. Number 26, I believe. Let's see here. That's Who is the New Prowler? I used to have an action figure of this guy. Yeah, I have to do a video of going through my action figures at some point. Cloak and Dagger. I always thought they were pretty cool characters. He can just like suck anyone into his cloak, teleport himself. This is a goofy cover. I did not care for this issue. Just because, like, you can see Spider-Man's, he's drawn all goofy like, and his villain, it's like some Flyman or something, but yeah, didn't really like that. That's number 86. Number 94, for a while in Spectacular Spider-Man, for a really long time, he was in the black suit. This is him with Cloak and Dagger. Number 95, continuing the Cloak and Dagger storyline, fighting a robot guy. And number 96. Number 97, Enter the Hermit. Comic books, you know, there's really nothing else like them. Just the crazy stuff, the crazy storylines. I mean, the Hermit as a villain. Number 97. I really need to put these in order. Probably do that at some point. That was the Kingpin. And then I got a couple more here. Number 169. I remember reading this in school. I think it was elementary school when we had like a small collection of comic books in the library. And I remember reading this one. It's Spider-Man. You got the guy who rides a skateboard. What was his name? It's like Rad Racer or something like that. But you got the Prowler. Can't remember this guy's name either, and the Sandman. And they were all working together for a short time. In this comic, 170, the next one, you have the team from the previous one, Spider-Man, Sandman, those other guys, versus the Avengers. So this is a really cool issue, Spectacular 170. But yeah, that's just one of my problems with American comic books, is there's just way too much stuff. You kind of start to feel like you're out of the loop, because you have to have Spectacular Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man, Spider-Man Adventures, Web of Spider-Man, all this stuff, and it's just way too much. So as a kid, I just picked one series and I stuck with it, and I still got a whole box of these comic books. So yeah, I really just wanted to show some of the random ones I had here and kind of do a small video on that. So that's really it, guys. I hope you liked the video. Leave your thoughts on it in the comments below. If you got a comic book collection, make a video response. So yeah, I hope you guys liked the video, and thanks for watching.